In this video, I'll be showing you guys exactly how to trade DXY.cash on an FTMO challenge or funded account. I think there's a lot of uncertainty around how to trade different instruments other than Forex, and I think this one's a big one for people that trade dollar pairs. So we're going to head straight into it. Before anyone is wondering exactly what do I mean by US dollar index, well, it is a measure of the strength of the dollar, and it's pegged against 6 currencies, I believe. So it says here it's comprised by these 6 currencies, so euro, yen, Canadian dollar, pound, Swedish krona, and Swiss franc. So my biggest takeaway from my trading is it's aligning with the euro the most. So especially with EU, you can see that they look a lot of times opposite, and that's because it's actually 60% based off the euro. And that really makes sense why sometimes the pound doesn't really reflect for GU, for example, against DXY. It's not as clean. So that's really what the DXY is, and what it's used for usually if you're trading US instruments, whether that be indices, Forex. It allows you to understand exactly how the dollar's looking, and it can allow you to keep out of bad moves and maybe increase the probability of a winning move based on an extra confluence. So this actually come about, what date are we on now? Just under a month ago. So I got this through from FTMO trading update, and they have explained here that they've actually tested out DXY.cash on demo accounts, and they're actually bringing it to the main servers. And a lot of people wouldn't even know this because previously it was actually read-only, and about 3 weeks ago they've enabled it. But a lot of people don't really know exactly how to trade it, and I've not seen any videos on YouTube about this. And I feel like I wanted to know exactly how to utilize DXY in case I wanted to use it for my trading. But you can see here that it's spoken that this is what it is. Contract size will be 100. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Commission is pretty small, and the margin 6%. So if we go into symbols, we can see that the spread's actually, I think it's around 2.3. I think it stays around 2.3 pips. We can go on to the charts to see how that works. But really, the conditions seem okay. EU spreads normally 0 to 0.5. GU maybe 0.2 to 0.8 on FTMO. So it is slightly high spreads, I would say, and that's always a downside sometimes of trading these other instruments. So I want to quickly now go on to DXY. I have already took a few trades to test it out. What we can gather is I'm currently using here you can see a FTMO demo. I'm using a swing demo, which means the leverage is 30 to 1. So with a 30 to 1 leverage, first of all, to be able to understand if it's worth trading a pair, how much lot size can I put on? How much risk can I allocate? Well, generally with 30 to 1 leverage, I've been able to risk 3% on my FTMO at one given time, around 3%. So what this now means is how do I work out the lot size to work out the risk? So it's obviously all going to depend on what your stop loss is, right? But if we were to go on this, and I haven't been able to find any websites online that actually calculate DXY lot size that I can get working. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible and just go off the basis of, okay, because they spoke about in this, they spoke about the contract size is 100. So what I'm gathering from that is a normal contract size on Euro USD is 1,000. So this would mean that you would have to trade 10 times the lot size on DXY to allow it for the same on EU, which means if I'm trading a 10 lot, I'm trading a 1 lot on EU. And where I can gather this is if we let's place a sell. So we've taken a sell 10 lots. If we were to go, this is a $100K dollar account, by the way. If we're going to go and look at a 10 pip stop loss, you can see that you're risking $10 per pip. If we can actually get this to work, let's do 20 pips. So you can see the stop loss is 200. So that means that if you want to trade 100 lots on DXY, that's 10 lot on EU. If you want to trade 50 lots on DXY, that's 5 lots on EU. If you want to trade 5 lots on DXY, 0.5 on EU. And the same for GU, same for any Forex dollar instrument. And if we were to go to how much can you risk on this 30 to 1 leverage account, we're going to try and place as many 10 lots as we can. So we're currently on 4. We're not allowed to place 5, but that does mean I probably can risk another 5 lots. So we can risk around 45 lots on a 100k account, obviously the stop loss is where you want to go. And it can get really confusing about how much do I place on this trade, what lot size, how do I work out the stop loss and stuff. I'm going to purely take this from the basis of a swing trader. I think it is always going to be harder if you're a scalper because you don't have the ability to have 2.3 pips spread or 2.5 pips spread 5 times a day. And if you increase your lot size with DXY, it's quite difficult because of how much margin it uses up quickly. But let's take this from the perspective you're more of a swing trader, because I'm guaranteed more swing traders will be using DXY. And we're looking at a 50 pip stop loss. If you put in a dollar pair here, it's got the account size, and you can see it's a 2 lot. So this would mean if you're looking at a 50 pip stop loss you want to put on DXY and you want to risk $1,000 on 100k, you would need to place a 20 lot on DXY. If we were to go and you were using a $50,000 account, for example, and you want to risk 1%, obviously that would be half. So really, you've just got to use the lot size calculator, which is on my FX book. I'll put that down in the description. You'll be able to work out exactly how to place a lot size on DXY for the stop loss that you've got, and just always timed it by 10 from what you've got here for the dollar trade, and it'll work out perfectly. That's where I'd come into this and say, right, you've used 45 lots, you've pretty much maxed out your margin. You can see here 93.5% margin used up. You've got a little bit left. This is why I'd be careful with FTMO. Yes, they give you a certain leverage for a reason, so you can stay within it. If you start using up 100% of your margin, you might get flagged. Whether that be in the challenge phase, I would assume more in the funded stage. They don't want to see traders using up all their margin all the time. And with DXY, it's very easy to, whereas with other positions like other instruments like EU, you can trade so much more higher lots. And it's on one hand good for DXY because you can stop risking as much, and in theory you won't lose as much and you won't go crazy. If you're a good trader, you shouldn't do that anyway. I think the biggest upside to having this on, if it's purely not from a trading perspective, is if you do like MT5 and you like trading on the platform, then you've got a more accurate feed for DXY on what you're trading. So I think that's always better. Downsides to it, higher spreads. I like 5x spreads than EU, and EU is very similar in how much it moves. And then the question would be, why would you trade DXY if you have EU? And really the other biggest downside is, unless you're trading a live account, you're not going to have any other prop firms at the minute that I know of that have DXY on their platform, on their brokerage, which means you're limited to just trading FTMO. And some people and some traders just want to trade FTMO. And if you like DXY and you can backtest it and you understand it, I'd say go for it. It may be nice to risk some profits that you have on DXY.cash if you're waiting for a payout. Otherwise, I'll just say it's a nice addition. I like what FTMO are doing. They're adding a lot of commodities even, like you can see there from the trading update, cotton and stuff like that. But it's there to be enjoyed, the DXY.cash, and if you want to give it a go, make sure to understand what you're doing before you take trades. But I'm sure everything will be understood now you've watched this video. If you have any questions, of course, comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer anything, so I've probably missed a few bits. But I hope that makes trading DXY easier on FTMO. It's okay, guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.